excited, of course, and it is indeed the Doc engineers who have created the platform, and Hisham is one of the bright minds behind it.
Great.
And quite recently, we spun off as a separate company, which is called HydroTwin, which is now doing the commercial side of exploiting what the platform can do.
Nice. So then this means that you have grown a lot, I assume, in the last years?
Yeah,
So
well, yeah.
maybe it's nice to understand as well how you get started.
Yeah, well, maybe Hisham can at least tell a bit where the idea comes from, and then I can pick up from that.
Yeah, so I would say HydroTwin started around maybe 2 years ago. So to me, it's really nice that we also won an award, because I started as an intern, so this was also my internship, and to see like blossom into HydroTwin and also winning an award and actually getting spin out as a company that actually tries to fix the hydrogen supply chain issues. So it's really great. So I would say that's kind of
Nice.
That's kind of how it works at Duthc. You have an initial idea, and then you try to develop it into a spin out.
So a very entrepreneurial mindset. And maybe for the audience who's not familiar with Duthc, can you explain what you do and what's your main mission? Why are you doing this?
You want to take?
Sure. So I would say we at Duthc have like 2 pillars. So one of them is logistics and the other one is energy.
Yeah.
And we also try to be very innovative, trying to like tackle these solutions. And so we use blockchain, and we'll also try to use AI. And something that we got like introduced to this case where we wanted to mimic like the cashew nut supply chain, and that's kind of where it started. So then we developed it, and we got validation that this is a great idea, we can develop it. The solution we built also really fits with hydrogen and biofuels.
Nice.
So that's kind of then how it developed. So we try to spin out companies in those 2 sectors.
Okay, very interesting. I would say that also in terms of sustainability, you're making a huge impact, right?
Yeah, well, I think if we focus on HydroTwin, what we're achieving with the platform is to create transparency and traceability of green certifications, and that kind of motivates the whole industry to really work towards going more green.
Yeah.
So think about a situation where when you have a green certificate on your hydrogen, there's a big premium on that compared to non-green hydrogen. So making sure that through the whole supply chain, from the origination, so from the electricity up until the user, is the certification is correct and is maintained. That is very crucial.
So how do you get companies involved? Because of course when we look at the supply chain, it's not just one client, but it's a variety of stakeholders that have to agree to a new technology and new ways of working. So how do you overcome that kind of challenge?
Well, we're currently starting to pilot, and the type of customer is really the producer of a green fuel, hydrogen either, or biofuel. And they have a central position in the supply chain, so they are quite well positioned to basically enforce using a platform like this up chain towards the source, but also down the chain towards the end customer. And the other involved party is what we call auditors, which check if certificates and claims about something being green are correct. They're also very much into the solution, as it makes their lives much easier than it is right now. Yeah.
And how does that integrate with the overall European Green Deal and all the efforts that are made? Because I know there are also some regulations like CSRD and other kind of regulation that are upcoming. So do you think that also will be beneficial for the companies itself that are partnering with you for this?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we are convinced that is the case, because the complexity in rules and regulations, not only on a European level but also internationally and also nationally, is really hard to navigate now. Okay. So the risk of doing something wrong or having your calculations wrong, etc., becomes bigger. That includes financial risk. So having a platform like this, which basically helps you to prevent making these mistakes, but also prevents, well, let's call it fraudulent activities upchain from you. That is what helps them also to basically fight the rules and regulations jungle.
Yeah, I can imagine. And maybe one last question more towards the technology side. So you have the blockchain layer, but then do you implement smart contracts, NFT? How do you turn what we have as like hydrogen into actual
good
verification?
Question. So I would say what we do use NFTs. So what we have is that we have like a couple of smart contracts, and with those smart contracts we try to mimic the supply chain of hydrogen. So we also, for example, not just use NFTs, we also try to use like signatures. So like another standard like EOP 712, where like we can have multiple parties vouching for like the existence of a batch of hydrogen, and then we can like aggregate all of their signatures and like create this batch of hydrogen and say, all right, this is valid, it exists. And that's kind of how it goes. So then we have an NFT of this batch, and then as it goes through the supply chain, it gets all of these transformations on it. So it has like documents, it changes the state, like it also goes maybe from hydrogen to ammonia, maybe back, it gets transported. And so we all try to...
This is something that the stakeholders are implementing from time to time?
Not the stakeholders, but like the people that are in the field, so that are like transporting the hydrogen, maybe selling it to someone else. And so what we're trying to do is not just create like an NFT of the batch of hydrogen, but also create an NFT of the green certificate, because then it's also like connected to this batch, and that way we have like this whole web and of all this data that's like connected to this specific NFT, and then you can check it and actually see what has happened and also do some carbon accounting on it. So that's kind of how we're trying to incorporate everything with
very blockchain. Nice and very valuable. I could talk about this for hours, but maybe one last message for the audience about Duthc. Big questions, I know, big questions.
I think, well, in general, HydroTwin, Duthc, just stay tuned, because there's a lot about to happen, not only at Duthc in terms of the spin-outs that are coming, but also within HydroTwin, and also the steps that we're making in terms of bringing the solution also to biofuels. And maybe also something else that we're working on, which you will see in a month as well.
Working on a lot of things. Very innovative things.
So indeed, stay tuned. So congratulations again. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank you.